Broadcasting from the Sacramento Republic FC studios. KHTK AM and HD. KNCI HD3 Sacramento. This is Sports 1140 KHTK. We do sports. Now, your Sports 1140 KHTK update. Brought to you by J.R. Putman Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
This is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Zion Williamson show lasted only 36 seconds last night at Cameron Indoor Stadium. The star forward for Duke blew out a shoe and injured his knee in the first minute of number 1 Duke's 88-72 loss to number 8 North Carolina. Coach K called the injury a, quote, mild knee sprain, and a timeline for Williamson's return is unknown. And the NBA is back tonight. The Kings open their final 25-game stretch in Oakland against the Warriors. Warriors center DeMarcus Cousins will be without a minutes restriction for the first time since his return from an Achilles injury back in January. Our coverage on Sports 1140 begins with game night at 6. Kings Live is at 7, and tip-off is set for 7:30. Those are your top stories, and now it's time for the second hour of The Drive with Damien filling in for Dave on Sports 1140 KHTK.
And I thank you so much for joining me here this morning, along with Kyle Madson and Jay Marshall, our executive producer on the live stream. Of course, you can watch the show on KHTK.com, and I'm secure enough to say and mean the live stream is a lot less interesting without Jason Ross here. Jason will be back with us on Monday when we go back to the Lowdown at 12 o'clock. And the Lowdown Live will debut on Friday at noon. Same regular radio show, but available now with the cameras on KHTK.com. Carmichael Dave will be back with you Monday morning at 6 a.m. Plenty to talk about here. This hour, Sam Amick is going to join us at 8:05. 7:45, we got tickets for you to see Luke Bryan. We got to talk about Le'Veon Bell and the Pittsburgh Steelers here in just a few moments, because while they've come to, verbal agreements that they're going to trade Antonio Brown, we've gotten another confirmation that Le'Veon Bell will not be back with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think there was a little bit of question as to whether they would use a transition tag on him or some sort of franchise tag on him. They've decided they're going to do neither, and Le'Veon Bell will finally be a unrestricted free agent. We'll talk about what good fits are out there for him over the next couple of days, and we'll talk about the Steelers here in just a heartbeat. I want to get to this Facebook question straight from the mind of Kyle Madson. It's a good one. How confident are you that the Sacramento Kings will make the playoffs? Of course, the second part of the Sacramento Kings season begins tonight against the Golden State Warriors in Oakland, and some of these responses have been pretty interesting. The one that caught my attention, Earl Jr., he wrote this, and I feel like we've seen a variation of this before. Earl wrote over on the Lowdown Facebook page, not very competent. Super pumped the Kings have made it this far, and 40 wins is a win in my book. They will definitely see the playoffs next year. Okay, that's fine. This is what gets me right here, because we've heard this before, and I'm always left scratching my head over it. I would rather see them in next year without struggling than this year and probably get blown out as an 8 seed. What's the point in the playoffs if you ain't making a run at a championship? So, Earl, we appreciate the response. We appreciate everybody's response here on the Lowdown Facebook page. Lots of interaction. That conversation doesn't end when the show ends. That conversation continues all throughout the day, and sometimes it continues for several days. But my question to Earl is, don't you just want to get there when you haven't been there for 13 years, even if it's an 8 seed, and they could very well be a 7 seed? Hell, we looked at the standings in the first hour. They could be a 6 seed if all things go well for them. And what's the point in the playoffs if you ain't making a run at a championship? Man, there is one team right now in the Western Conference that's making a run at a championship. One. It's not Houston, no. I love Oklahoma City. No. There's one right now. And this belief that the Sacramento Kings are easily going to get in next year is absurd. Why is it absurd? Well, look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota Timberwolves ended their playoff drought last season and are in danger of starting another one this year. So, no, I don't subscribe to the theory that, they're going to be so much better next year. They're going to coast into the playoffs. Like, who do you think the Sacramento Kings are going to be next year? Oklahoma City, Houston, Portland? Who do you think that they're going to be to where they're not going to struggle to get in the playoffs?
The trajectory certainly says that they will be further into the playoff race this time next year.
Mm-hmm.
But that assumes everything goes right. Like they are a couple of losses away here to start. They have a tough stretch.
They've stolen a couple of games.
Sure.
Let's not forget that.
They have this brutal 5-game stretch to open the second half, and if they lose 5 of those or 4 of them, like they're suddenly way out of the playoff race. I think next year the trajectory certainly says that they'll be in a better spot than that. But the fact remains that if let's say they get the 8th seed this year, they've put themselves in a position, while the chances may be astronomical, they've put themselves in a real-world position to make a run.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't make the playoffs, that's not the case. There are 0 chances they win a title if they don't make the playoffs, and those chances increase tenfold if they do.
Okay.
Which is my argument for if
my only counter to that would be, we can talk about trajectory, but I think the Minnesota Timberwolves example still fits. We could, it's a bit of a stretch. The Timberwolves example is the best, but couldn't we use Utah as an example too? Wasn't Utah the be-all, end-all to young and upcoming teams just last season?
Yeah.
They started terribly and went on a fantastic run that's put them in a pretty good spot right now, but they're 32-25. They're not lighting the world on fire. There were people who thought Utah would be basically what Denver is. Denver made a huge jump from missing the playoffs on the last day of the regular season to being a team that has sat on top of the Western Conference for a bulk of the year and are now sitting comfortably in the second spot of the Western Conference.
I guess I just don't understand the rationale of, even if I agree with what you're saying, but even if that wasn't the case, even if you guaranteed, like, yeah, the Kings are going to make the playoffs next year, why would you not want to make it this year?
Yeah, I don't understand that line
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I don't understand that line of thinking at all. But, I mean, I appreciate the response, again, on the Facebook page. I just don't understand why you would not want to just get in the playoffs. Let De'Aaron get that playoff experience. Yeah. Let Buddy get that playoff experience. Let the whole roster get that playoff experience. Let Dave Yeager get it. Let Vlade Divac get it. Let the people at the Golden One Center get playoff experience.
They've played the Warriors 3 times this year and lost by a combined 8 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, why would you not want to face that team in a 7-game series?
Yeah.
Why not give them a run?
Eric Goodman says, confidence scale 1 to 10, I'm about 7.5. I think these first 4 to 5 games after the break will be a telltale sign. I'm just imagining the Doku area in the springtime if they make it. It's on and cracking, says Eric Goodwin. Yeah, no question about that. And I think that's what we're all waiting for. By the way, did you see Big Boy is going to be at Wednesday's game? The Bucks and the Bucks and the Cowboys, for goodness sakes. The Bucks and the Sacramento Kings have joined together for a program, a movement called Time for a Change. And it ties in with the Build Black organization. It ties in with some of the social initiatives that each team has had separately. They're collectively doing something when the Bucks come to visit next week. And Big Boy of Outkast is going to be a part of that, and he's going to be performing at halftime at the Golden One Center. So if you weren't already going to see the Greek Freak on Wednesday, now you could come see the Greek Freak and Big Boy.
For me, it's Big Boy, then Giannis.
That's fine.
In that order.
That's fine. Reggie Lee over here on the Facebook says the Kings have been activated for the playoffs. Kings have been activated for the playoffs. So
Playoff Kings have been activated.
Playoff Kings have been activated. Brian Murphy says, I'm as confident as Damien is after he steps out of a 4-hour workout. Brian
so
Murphy,
like a 15 out of 10.
Brian, you are a loyal follower, man. We much appreciate that. The Steelers are going to look a little bit different this year. They have, and if you, again, conversation continues all throughout the show and well after the show ends. You can head over to Facebook. As soon as you get to the office, get settled, you decide you don't want to do any work, go to social media, go to Facebook, search the lowdown, and tell us, how confident are you that the Kings will make the playoffs? Antonio Brown has come to an agreement with the Pittsburgh Steelers to make his way out of Pittsburgh. And now, apparently, the Pittsburgh Steelers have made the decision that Le'Veon Bell will no longer be a part of their team. Their dopey general manager, Kevin Gobert, says Le'Veon is still a great player. We just can't afford to use any other type of tags on him. Le'Veon will be an unrestricted free agent at the start of the new league year, which is just a couple of weeks away. Le'Veon Bell took to Twitter later on Wednesday to rejoice, quoting the great Dr. Martin Luther King, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last."
Good for Le'Veon.
Pittsburgh Steelers will likely receive a compensatory pick in the 2020 draft. Probably could be as high as a third-round selection. Of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers are more than comfortable with Jalen Samuels and James Conner after the way that they performed in Le'Veon Bell's year-long holdout last year. Le'Veon will turn 27 on Monday and is due for the most important payday of his career.
Yeah, I think he might be a little bit disappointed by what the open market looks like. But
I think that's a great question. What will the open market look like for Le'Veon Bell, a guy who was supposed to make $14.5 million last year and decided he didn't want that? That did not give him the long-term security that he was requesting. But he is the most – you could argue – you could make a fair argument that the most dynamic running back and the most dynamic wide receiver are on the market at the same time in the same offseason. What Le'Veon Bell's market is, I have no idea. We'd probably have to gauge that against Todd Gurley's contract that he got from the Los Angeles Rams just a couple of right before this season started, I think.
Yep.
And I think we'd have to go from there.
Yeah, so Gurley's contract was 4 years, $60 million with $45 guaranteed. If Le'Veon's looking for
but was it really 4 years, or was it was it they have the option to just get rid of him after 3 and the guarantee is still 40? Because $10 million per year, you said 4 years, 40 guaranteed. Ultimately, what we're talking about is $10 million per year for Todd Gurley, and that if it's a guaranteed he's locked in for 4 years, man, that's not the most dynamic look for Le'Veon Bell here moving forward. Because remember, he walked away from 14.5, believing he was worth closer to 17 to 20.
Yeah, 4 years, $57.5 million for Todd Gurley, with $45 million in total guarantees. There's an out in the deal in 2022.
That's the third year of the deal. To me, that makes more sense. The 3 year 45 as opposed to the 4 year 45. Because he's getting the full $45 million guaranteed whether he plays in that option year or not, or whether the team declines his option or whoever's option that is. See, this is the difficulty with NFL contracts, is the way they're reported is so fake. Like you just heard Kyle say, it's a 4 year, $50-some-odd million contract. No, it's not. It's probably a 3 year, $45 million contract, because a lot of times Joe Flacco still has several years left on his deal with the Baltimore Ravens. But no one cares, especially Baltimore, because he's not owed anything. He has no guaranteed dollars left. So whatever deal he's going to sign, I assume at least, he's going to sign some sort of deal with the Denver Broncos moving forward that's going to completely restructure his contract.
But is Le'Veon Bell, 27-year-old Le'Veon Bell, going to go get $60 million guaranteed or $50 million guaranteed or whatever?
For 3 years? I think so. I think he could. For 2 to 3 years. I'd pay Le'Veon Bell I'd give Le'Veon Bell 2 and 40. 2 years,
I don't know
$40
if he'll
million.
take that.
Really? That's $20 million guaranteed for both years?
Oh, so fully guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed. Get the Kirk Cousins treatment.
Wow.
But just 2 years. So you get your guarantee, you get 40, you get above market value, but just for 2 years. Then he's 29. then you're just going to have to deal with the laws of the NFL as they have been relayed to us about running backs falling off of the face of the earth once they approach the age of 30. We have joked all morning about LeBron James' playoff activation. You'll hear from him, the Lakers and the Rockets, and more of your responses as to how confident you are the Kings will make the playoffs.
Sports 1140 KHTK has made your mornings even better. Check out The Drive every morning on KHTK.com to not only hear the show, but to see the show as well. The Drive is now video streaming every morning from 6 to 9 on KHTK.com. All presented by the Sacramento Republic FC and by Jiffy Lube.
I'm a real person, real voice, and a real face. Even though you can't see it because, radio invisibility. You know what else is super duper real? Geico Local Offices. A Geico local agent could tailor-fit a policy to you, which could save you hundreds on your car insurance. All because Geico local agents keep it real, with real savings and real service. Really.
And there's more. A Geico local agent could help you with more than just auto policies, like motorcycle, boat, and RV insurance. Stop by or give them a call today.
Washing my nose, oh yeah.
I'm a shower curtain, and I do one thing, keep water from leaking everywhere. So you see why I feel useless compared to Geico, who does so much more. Like, not only could Geico save you money, but they've been around for over 75 years. And they give you 24/7 access online, over the phone, or on the Geico app. And they've got a 97% customer satisfaction rating. They do all this while I have to listen to this chucklehead. Oh, good, he stopped.
Washing my toes.
Oh, great, an encore.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
This is Brandon Tierney with a CBS Sports Minute sponsored by Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business at glassdoor.com/hire. Probably didn't think the Padres were going to call up $300 million for Manny Machado, did you? You know who wanted Machado? The White Sox wanted him. They reportedly offered in the neighborhood of $300 million as well, but he spurned that offer to go to San Diego. So they still have money to spend. Here's how they should spend it. Take the $300 million and disperse it in a bunch of different spots. Dallas Keuchel will give you 3 years plus an option. Craig Kimbrell, here's 2 years for $20 million a pop. Marwin Gonzalez will give you 4 years, $65 million. Adam Jones will give you Andrew McCutchen money, 3 years, $50 million. And we already have Jose Abreu as the mainstay DH. And you look at the division if this ever happened. The Tigers stink, the Royals stink, the Twins stink. Your only competition's the Indians. White Sox, join the party, mix it up, make it really interesting. I'm BT.
At McDonald's, we're about making mornings from NorCal to Central Valley brighter. If the 99 has your commute at a standstill, an Egg McMuffin and a Sausage McMuffin with egg will put a smile on your face. And if your day on the farm can't start without some goodness, an Egg McMuffin and a hot McCafe coffee will be a delicious helping hand. Get either an Egg McMuffin or Sausage McMuffin with egg and an any size hot McCafe coffee for $4. Or mix and match 2 of these sandwiches for $4. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
It's easy to hit refresh with an ice-cold, any-size Coke or sweet tea for just $1 at McDonald's. See what I mean? Hit refresh anytime with any size Coke or sweet tea for just $1 on the $1, $2, $3 menu at McDonald's. It'll go perfectly with the food you crave.
Like a cheesy double cheeseburger or crispy 6-piece chicken McNuggets for only $2 each. Price and participation may vary. For a limited time, cannot be combined with any other offer or any combo meal.
Sacramento Weather Report is brought to you by Von Hausen Motor Group. Clear skies today with a high of 57 and some gusty wind this afternoon.
It's the Von Hausen Spring into Mercedes-Benz event. Drive a 2018 GLC 300 SUV, former courtesy loaner, just $35,976. Offered is pre-owned. Hi, I'm Kelly Brothers. Visit us today at vonhausen.com and at Mercedes-Benz of Sacramento, Mercedes-Benz of Rockland, or Mercedes-Benz of El Dorado Hills.
Make sure you check us out on all of our different social media platforms. You can find me, Damien Barling, across all social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Jason Ross, 1140. Cody Baylor, at Cody. That's Cody with an I. Cody Baylor across all social media platforms as well. I would plug Kyle Madson's Twitter account. That's a dangerous, dangerous place to be.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, but it can be a lot of fun at times, too.
Thanks, man.
Hey,
really
you know what would be
that.
good right now at 7:15 in the morning, 7:18 in the morning to be exact? How about some fire wings?
I couldn't agree more, Damien. They have 21 delicious flavors to choose from. I'm sure you could find something that tastes good in the morning. They have a Nashville Fire Chicken Sandwich as well. Find the location nearest you at firewings.com. That's Fire Wings. Just wing it.
you want to watch the show today, you can head over to KHTK.com. As we mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm secure enough to mention that the live version of the Lowdown here in the morning on KHTK.com is significantly less interesting without the king of the live stream here, though I do have a nice picture of him to keep me company here in the studio. I have Chris Verlaud's T-shirts all over the place. I have Cody Baylor hanging behind me. So we've tried to decorate the studios just a little bit to make sure it's friendly for the live stream. More social media response here, more Facebook response as to how confident you are that the Kings will make the playoffs. We'll get to that in just a little bit. You had mentioned Fire Wings. Let's go to the Fire Wings hotline, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Quick reminder, tickets to see Luke Bryan are coming up at 7:45, and Sam Amick of The Athletic is going to join us at 8:05. Good morning, Jerry. Great to hear from you.
Hey, good morning, guys. Top of the day.
Indeed.
It'll make you sing. It'll make your ears ring. It's Fire Wings. I'm winging it.
Wow. Totally unpaid endorser right here from Jerry. I like it.
Hey, I think the Kings got a 1-3 chance. And my reasoning is, first, I think if they go 13-12, they got a chance. They got to hope the Clippers go 10-15 or something like that. And then they got to hope that LeBron throws his shoe or something like that. And I'd love to see them make the playoffs. Any playoff experience that they get, like Grant explained to me, is better than no playoff experience. But I think we got a good chance, 1-3.
I like it. Appreciate you, Jerry, and I completely agree with you that any playoff experience, even if it's 4 games, is well worth it for this version of the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, if they play a game over 500 the rest of the way, that puts them at 43 wins. I don't know if that'll be enough.
Yeah.
46 feels like the number.
That's kind of the fun game here with the Western Conference playoff picture, is trying to determine what number of wins is going to get a team into the playoffs. Right now, you look at Utah, you could go, man, you could really just look from Oklahoma City down. Oklahoma City's 37-20. They're sitting comfortably in the 3rd seed. There's a little bit of conversation as to whether Oklahoma City would be able to jump Denver there in the 2nd spot. But you start looking at the wins from 4 on down, and you got 34, 33, 32. San Antonio has 33 wins. The Clippers have 32 wins. And then you have the Sacramento Kings there with 30 and the Los Angeles Lakers with 28. What's the number that gets you into the playoffs? 13 more wins, 43. It's above 500. It's 40. Was that a 43-39 record? It all depends on where the Clippers, Lakers, and Spurs are.
And the Kings have to finish a game ahead of the Clippers.
Correct.
Because the Clippers have the tiebreaker. The Clippers have math. This is tough. 23 games left. So let's say the Kings do go 13-12. That means the Clippers have to go 11-12 the rest of the way. No, 10-13 the rest of the way. And the Lakers, they also have 25 games left. They would need to go 14-11.
You know what's difficult about this, too, is because so many people are spending time looking at, like, strength of schedules. Yeah, who the most difficult opponents are and all of that stuff. But then you also start looking at, like, okay, what do the Pelicans think in the final few weeks of the season? Like, how are they approaching this season? We already know they don't want Anthony Davis to play. They're basically publicly petitioning the league to allow them to sit Anthony Davis. So we know where their mind is at moving forward. What about the Memphis Grizzlies? The Memphis Grizzlies spent the first 2 months of the season in the top 4 of the Western Conference. They've spent the last 2 months of the season in the bottom 2 of the Western Conference. Does Phoenix shut anybody down in those final weeks? Are they looking to gain just on-court experience? Are they looking to sit Devin Booker out so nothing happens to him again? How does a team like the Dallas Mavericks approach the season? And then you can go over to the Western Conference, or the Eastern Conference, and run through the Chicagos and the Clevelands and New Yorks and what their approach to the season is going to be. I don't know that the Kings have a game against Washington left, but what will they be looking at as the season starts to wrap up here? So the approach, for the Kings and the Clippers, well, I take that back. The approach for the Kings and the Lakers is very, very clear. We don't know exactly what the approach for the Los Angeles Clippers is going to be, just like we don't know what the approach for, like this happened a couple of years ago when the Kings, Scala Biciere was playing really well and they were having a decent push at the end of the regular season. And we tried to warn people like, hey, don't read too much into that because a whole lot of teams have shut down. Now the Kings have the opportunity to benefit from teams that might be shutting things down a little bit early.
Yeah, and they have to win those games. If a team is trying to lose, the Kings have to beat them. They don't have a ton of margin for error down the stretch here. And if that's going to be the case where they're playing these sub 500 teams who are effectively tanking, those are absolute must-win games.
Well, LeBron's not taking. He is fully activated. Playoff mode is activated. You'll hear where that running joke came from coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll talk about the Lakers and the Rockets. That game tonight. We'll talk about all 6 games tonight. Sam Amick is going to join us, and Zion Williamson. That's the big story here today. He plays just 36 seconds in the Duke, North Carolina game. And the hot topic today, the NCAA, once again, should Zion Williamson shut it down? We'll talk about that as the drive continues here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
The Drive, The Lowdown, Grant and Doug, and Game Night.
That's the play of this ball game thus far.
One place gives you the Sacramento Kings coverage you want and need.
Hammer time!
Sports 1140 KHTK is your home for the Sacramento Kings.
Hey, it's Vince Bloom, the big guy at Lashes Oak Grove Dodge. You know we're celebrating Chuck Month this month because the weather's warming up and it's time to get out into the great outdoors. It's also the perfect time to save on trucks at Oak Grove Dodge because they're all on sale. Ram 1500s, 2500s, Tradesmen, Laramies, Bighorns. And I mean save big, like $19,000 off MSRP on a new 2019 Ram 1500 SLT Classic Bighorn Crew Cab Hemi, 4x2 or 4x4. I've got over 100 in stock and they're all over 30% off MSRP. That's end of year type savings and it's only February. Save up to $19,000 off MSRP on over 100 new 2019 Ram 1500 SLT Classic Bighorn Crew Cab Hemis, 4x2s and 4x4s. Only during Truck Month and only at Lashes Oak Grove Dodge. For over 60 years, our name means a great deal. In the Oak Grove Auto Mall and online at oakgrovedodge.com.
Includes $12,000 in California, BC retail consumer 2019 retail bonus Chrysler Capital Conquest and select inventory cash. Must finance through Chrysler Capital on approved credit. Customer must have leased their competitive brand vehicle for at least 30 days. Sample VIN 554632 ends 2/28/19.
Sources confirm that the invasion began on a Sunday 2 months ago when Bill and Shirley Riley listed their home on the market. This beautiful, sprawling 2,600...
Oh, Gary, it's you. Hurry, get in here.
Everything okay, Bill?
Okay. No, everything is not okay.
What's wrong?
The visitors, Gary. They keep coming. Mornings, afternoons, even during dinner. They want to look at the house, Gary. They won't stop. All I do is vacuum. And then as soon as everything is spotless, it all starts over.
Cookies. That sounds terrible. We just sold directly to Open Door instead. It was super easy. Susan typed in our address, answered a few questions, and we got a great offer. The Open Door folks were real helpful.
They're here, Gary.
That's cool, man. I'm gonna go. Check out opendoor.com/sold, Bill. Skip the open houses and the visitors and get a competitive offer within 48 hours. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage, Inc., a licensed real estate brokerage in the state of California. License ID number 02061130.
Sacramento, D.C. here for Beck's Furniture and Sleep. Sacramento born and raised, Sacramento proud, being locally owned for 50 years. That lets you know how they operate. That means no games pricing. Beck shops the market so you don't have to. Factory direct, which means from the factory to Beck's directly to your home. Visit them today. Tell them DC sent you. Beck'sFurniture.com.
Beck's Furniture.
It's awards season. And the winner is... No, not those awards. It's award season at Nissan Now. Nissan earned a headline-making 3 J.D. Power Awards, including Best Midsize Car, Large Car, and Midsize Pickup in initial quality. And now get President's Day savings on our full lineup, including Rogue and the all-new Altima, both with available Pro Pilot Assist. Plus, save big on the powerful Titan. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com today.
Get 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2019 Nissan Rogue.
Don't run out of time. Hurry to Nissan now.
for well-qualified buyers. $16.67 per month per thousand finance for 60 months. The delayed payment must begin exactly 90 days from the date of the contract. No security deposit required. Must finance through NMAC and take delivery from new dealer stock. Call 1-888-858-8319 for offer details. For J.D. Power 2018 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Ends 2/28/19.
There's a place where actions speak louder. Jackpots echo throughout. And the thrill of it all is thunderous. Thunder Valley Casino Resort, where more than 3,000 slots, 100 table games, all new bingo and poker rooms blend with award-winning dining. And AAA Ford Diamond Luxury. Winning big makes a sound all its own. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Live out loud.
Toyota's President's Day sales event. Get $500 lease bonus cash on Camry and lease for just $219 a month, or get $1,000 cash back. It's the final days of Toyota's President's Day sales event. Ends 2/28/19. Toyota. Let's go places.
Sacramento weather brought to you by Sutter Health. Clear skies today with some gusty wind this afternoon and a high of 57. Brought to you by Sutter Medical Foundation. Connect with a doctor who inspires your best health with primary care and same-day care options, including video visits. The Sutter Network has care to fit your every need. More at sutterhealth.org/primary care.
Now, your Sports 1140 KHTK update. Brought to you by J.R. Putman Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Hey, it's Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Zion Williamson show, I can't get that right, but I will eventually. Last night at Cameron Indoor Stadium lasted only 36 seconds. Duke star forward blew out a shoe and injured his knee in the first minute of number 1 Duke's 88-72 loss to number 8 North Carolina. Coach K called the injury, quote, a mild knee sprain, and a timeline for Williamson's return is unknown. And the NBA is back tonight. The Kings open their final 25-game stretch in Oakland against the Warriors. Warriors center DeMarcus Cousins won't have a minutes restriction for the first time since his return in January from an Achilles injury that he suffered last season. Our coverage on Sports 1140 begins with game night at 6. Kings Live is at 7. Tip-off a little later than normal tonight with set for 7:30. Those are your top stories. And now it's back to the drive with Damien filling in for Dave on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Greatly appreciate you being here with me. Carmichael Dave will be back on Monday at 6 a.m. Jason will be back with me when we go back to the lowdown at 12 o'clock on Monday as well. In the meantime, so happy that you're here. You want to participate in the show, many ways you could do it. Jiffy Lube text line, which has been rolling all morning, 441140. You can also get us on the Fire Wings hotline. Try one of the delicious 21 flavors of wings today. Fire Wings, just wing it, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We've got tickets to see Luke Bryan coming up in 14 minutes, 7:45 exactly. You give us a call at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140, and we'll get you set up to see Luke Bryan with special guest John Langston at the Lake Tahoe Outdoor Arena at Harvey's on August 25th. As a reminder, for those that are new to what we do on the lowdown, we give you a specific time to call. You don't have to wait for me to say anything. You don't have to wait for Kyle to say anything. That way, anybody who is watching the live stream on KHTK.com and anybody who is listening online at either KHTK.com or through the KHTK app, you're at no disadvantage to winning these tickets. As many of you listen online know, there is a substantial delay. So if I say, hey, call right now, you're hearing it way too late and you've already lost, and only the people listening on 1140 a.m. have the opportunity to win. And we know how many of you are listening through our streaming services. So at 7:45, as soon as your clock hits that number, you give us a call and we'll get you set up to see Luke Bryan. Plenty of stories going on in the world of sports. Obviously, the biggest one for us here is basketball is back at it tonight. The NBA is back in action, and the game we'll be paying the most attention to are Sacramento Kings. They'll take on the Golden State Warriors. We'll spend a lot of time talking about that here in the upcoming moments. The Warriors are lifting their minutes restriction on DeMarcus Cousins. What does that mean for them? We'll talk about that again in just a few minutes. We asked you a question on Facebook. How confident are you that the Sacramento Kings are going to make the playoffs this year? Great responses so far. Please continue to share them. Again, over on the Lowdown Facebook page. You could check us out. If you're not familiar with that page, just go to Facebook, search the Lowdown. You'll be able to find us. We post questions every single day there. This one straight from the brain of Kyle Madson. Again, how confident are you that the Kings will make the playoffs? And before we get into a deep dive on the Sacramento Kings, we got to talk about what Kyle just mentioned, and that's Zion Williamson going down with a mild knee sprain. as Coach K said there following the game in a moment, 36 seconds into a very high-profile game, a very high-profile rivalry with some very high-profile individuals in attendance. We saw the air let out of Cameron Indoor Stadium, and Zion Williamson goes down with the injury, which started the flood of tweets from NBA players, and it started the hot takes from talking heads all across the world about Zion Williamson and about the NCAA and about paying collegiate athletes, and about how Zion Williamson didn't make a single dollar for his efforts last night. And that started a conversation that it's quite honestly a question that was asked before he was injured. It's a question that's been asked for weeks. Since in last night, it kind of manifested itself. Should Zion Williamson shut the season down and prepare to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft?
I think so. I would be in favor of high-profile high school recruits like Zion.
Mm-hmm.
If they just said, hey, I'm not going to play a year of college basketball, I'm going to take the year off and train and get myself ready. Because Zion, if he had done that, is still a top 5 pick.
Yep.
I think he worked his way into the number 1 conversation, obviously, by playing in college, but he still would have been top 5 even if he had just worked out the entire year. So if he wants to shut it down, I'm certainly not going to blame him.
Here's playing devil's advocate, and that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing when I'm arguing against him sitting out, which I'm not going to – whatever decision Zion Williamson – and this may not even be a thought in his mind, but whatever decision he makes, like I'm fine with. But I'll note 2 things. One, the injury occurred totally non-contact. Mm-hmm. It was essentially a freak play in which his shoe blew up, and it could happen in a shooting drill. It could happen in a 3-cone drill. It could happen in an empty gym with no one but him and his trainer.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, barring this being a substantial injury that keeps him from playing moving forward, if you commit to a school, you're only committing for 1 year. I feel like you got to live out that commitment, because now you're putting Duke and Coach K in a difficult spot where you have to start wondering with these high-level recruits who are going to be – and obviously this is all eliminated when Adam Silver eliminates the one-and-done rule. And
right.
We've been led to believe that that's going to be very soon. The NCAA takes a lot of slack, as they should, because they do a lot of things wrong. The one-and-done rule, that's not an NCAA rule. That is a David Stern rule.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason, in my opinion, that Adam Silver hasn't already overturned it is he didn't want to come in and Donald Trump all of Barack Obama's old policies.
Sure.
That was a rule that David Stern created, and I know because he said as much. He never liked it.
Right.
But he's not going to walk in and immediately throw out what his predecessor did. He's been trying to come up with a more universal solution, because the argument has been, well, all of this, it harms the NBA, it harms college basketball. He's trying to come up with alternatives rather than just walking in and completely throwing out the rule.
Right, which is understandable. On the subject of Zion committed to Duke and he has a responsibility to his team and his teammates, he only committed to Duke because he had to.
No, you're right.
Like he's doing this not because he plans on sticking with the program.
Sure.
Like he's doing this because
he can't go to the NBA.
Yeah.
No, I understand, and you're 100% right. But that's the rule for now.
Uh-huh.
And he committed to playing for them this year. So play for them. And unless the injury is keeping you from playing,
sure,
you fulfill your commitment to play for them, even just for this season.
And if that's what he wants to do, and that's what he says, you know what, I'm playing, we have a chance to win a national championship. If I'm going to play a year, that's my goal. I want to win at every stop I make. Great. I'm all about that.
Mm-hmm. What's
been funny is watching on the internet and watching on our morning talking head shows on TV is the like anger that he needs to now sit the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Like, no, he doesn't.
No, he could do
whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really think if it is a mild knee sprain, he's out for 2 weeks, and then they're like, yeah, you can go. Like, just wanting to make sure it doesn't hurt anymore. I think he's back. I think he comes back.
Yeah, I think he'll play in the tournament.
Me too.
There's no point in putting him any. There's really, barring March 9th, I think is the game at Chapel Hill. Other than that, play him in the tournament. You know what I mean? Like I'd argue you don't even have to pay him in Champ Week. Just play him in the tournament where everybody's going to be watching and everybody cares.
Isn't that a little bit what Michael Porter Jr. did?
Attempted to do.
Came back late in the year, but he wasn't. He had a back thing that was a little more serious than this.
I feel like maybe they only lasted one game, or maybe we watched him in the conference tournament.
I think that was
it was not. Yeah, there was nothing pretty or sexy about it. By the way, he's on the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, they're just going to get this. They're just going to get this top 5 talent.
They just keep getting. It's like, wait, there's so many. We had talked all year about how people that we interact with across the league at Sacramento Kings games are really high on the Denver Nuggets. And this is part of the reason why. They just have all-stars and top 5 talents coming off injured reserves at various moments throughout the year, and perhaps in Michael Porter Jr.'s case, it'll be next season.
And they're all like 25 and younger.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we're good here. I'm so fascinated by where Isaiah Thomas is going to fit in, because I think Isaiah Thomas provided a huge spark for the Nuggets when they wrapped up the first part of the season against the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, he was enormous.
And what we know, whether he plays or not, he's a big vocal presence in the locker room. We've been told as much by people who cover the Denver Nuggets. And how does that translate as we get into the crunch time of the season here moving forward?
Yeah, that'll be, if he settles into a role with them like the one he played against the Kings where they were down and he comes in and just takes over the scoring and hits a couple of big threes and is the spark plug of their second unit.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect role for him. But if he is going to want to close games and be playing crunch time minutes and be taking crunch time shots, I don't think you can do that when you have guys like Jokic and Jamal Murray. Will Barton's a player I really like. They just have so many good players. I don't think IT fits into that upper echelon there, but I think that he has a very important role in their second unit.
Cue the lame take guy on the text line.
Atta babe.
Didn't he get a free ride to Duke? Stop saying he doesn't get paid. He does. Nah, see, that's the guy who works at a multi-million-dollar company but makes minimum wage. Zion Williamson's value to Duke is not worthy of a scholarship. It's worthy of like 10 scholarships for the rest of his life and having the court renamed after him. That's Zion Williamson's worth to Duke. You're looking at, stop saying he doesn't get paid. He's getting a free education. Dude, that's not of equal value. That's not the same thing. That's being a stockbroker. That's being a stock trader on Wall Street and getting paid nothing instead of getting paid a commission of what you're earning for all of your clients. Zion Williamson is earning Duke a ton. Somebody paid $10,000 to see Zion Williamson play last night. Barack Obama sat courtside, not to see Duke, not to see North Carolina, to see Zion Williamson. That is his value to Duke, not whatever the cost of a Duke scholarship is.
And here's
for one season.
Right. And that's the whole thing. So it's one semester. They are only going to school because they have to get into the NBA. He's probably not going to use all 4 years of that scholarship, probably. Mm-hmm. And it would be like if you, like you were just saying, that would be like taking whatever that person's pay is at their job and saying, hey, we're not going to give you any money to eat or live, or we're going to give you very minimal for that, but you can go to class. You work this full-time job, you're also going to go to class.
Yeah.
And you're going to make what amounts to like less than minimum wage.
Also, you're going to have to be successful in these classes because if you're not, we're not going to allow you to work for free for us.
Right.
Oh, but they're getting the opportunity to showcase their talent. Zion Williamson was showcasing his talent when he was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah. House of Highlights has been on Zion for 3 years.
Or a minute. Like he is like I hate comparing anyone to LeBron James.
Sure.
But in terms of hype, he's the closest. Because I remember LeBron as a sophomore, and then, of course, the Sports Illustrated cover and everything that followed that. That's essentially what Zion Williamson has been. Mm-hmm. He has been in the national spotlight since he was a sophomore in high school, just like LeBron. Now, LeBron exceeded all expectations when he became a pro basketball player, which still is one of the most phenomenal. That's probably his most phenomenal accomplishment, because if you were around when LeBron was entering the league, or when maybe you were at Arco Arena that first game LeBron James played as a professional basketball player, the amount of hype that surrounded him was and is phenomenal. And he surpassed it. Yeah. I just thought at the arena that night, there's no way he's this good. There's no way he is what everyone says he is. And he wasn't. He was substantially better. Even in that first game. Even in that first game against a very, very good Sacramento Kings team, it was, oh, okay. No, this guy is the truth.
And let me tell you something about the opportunity and exposure of playing at Duke. Opportunity and exposure don't pay bills.
No, they don't.
FYI.
I would. One more argument I'll make to stay in school, and this is less has to do with fulfilling a commitment and more has to do with what actually might be best for him. Mm-hmm. There isn't a shooting coach. There isn't a game situation coach. And quite honestly, there might only be one or two NBA coaches that are better than the one that he has.
Correct.
He'll gain a ton of knowledge just being with Coach K. In my opinion, he will. So what Zion Williamson will do moving forward, we will see. We've got our eyes on Duke Twitter to see if we get any more of a formal update. Coach K told us last night that it was a mild knee sprain for Zion Williamson, though he did acknowledge they are a little bit worried. Of course, when your star player goes down with an injury, you're going to be worried, but there appeared to be, at least according to what we were told last night, there appears to be no structural damage to Zion Williamson's knee. Sam Amick will be with us at 2:05, so make your plans to be with us then. We have been joking about this all morning.
You know, my level of intensity has to be, you know, unfortunately for me, because I don't like to do it at such an early time. I'm a little bit different, but it's been activated, so look forward to seeing what we can do.
His playoff intensity has been activated. I'm curious, a follow-up question for LeBron in that situation would have been, what do you mean you're different? Like, what do you do that's different? I know one thing that he does is he has these moments where he attempts to like manifest into like a superhero or something, where he manifests into something else, like activated LeBron James.
But that's the perception, though, is that, oh, LeBron can flip a switch. Like, I think he's done such a good job of branding himself and marketing himself on the court that he can just turn this switch on at any time and become the best player ever, that when he says it's been activated, people just buy it. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
LeBron's going to start trying. Now the switch is flipped.
Yeah.
Well, he does an amazing job at that.
How about this one?
If I can get into the postseason, whatever team that I got, I feel like we got a good chance. So obviously you want to be playing at a high level going into the postseason and try to ride that wave. You know, so we're looking forward to seeing how well we can play and try to get into the playoffs and ride the momentum of how we play to get there.
I like LeBron. I really do, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for his talent and what he does on the basketball floor every day, but I have said this for the 3 years that we've been doing the lowdown. I don't think I could be LeBron's teammate. Because didn't LeBron just say right there, whatever team I got, we can make the playoffs? I feel like LeBron constantly separates himself from the team. Like, we don't need you to whip it out and measure it, dude. We know you're the man. We see it. We've seen it for a decade and a half. You are the guy. But he's in a constant state of trying to remind us that he is the guy. Like, I got any team that I got, I could take to the playoffs. Like, you're separating yourself from that team. It's LeBron, and then it's everybody else. And then this isn't the first time. He's done it with various Cleveland teams, and I think he did it with Miami when you knew that last year in Miami, particularly that last playoff series, you knew he was out. Like, he was gone. Because he uses language like that. Now, in this situation, he's not gone. Everybody else is gone. And that's my question for the remainder of the season. Is that a a preemptive strike by LeBron James to say, hey, it's a little early, but playoff mode is activated, which means, and Kyle, you posed this question earlier, what happens if the Lakers come out and lose tonight? Well, the answer is easy. The answer is what it always is when a LeBron James team fails. It's everybody else's fault. You just heard LeBron right there. LeBron James, playoff mode, it's activated. Okay, that means if they lose to the Houston Rockets tonight and James Harden's streak of 30-plus becomes 32, well, what'd Ingram do? Is Ingram activated? Is Lonzo activated? What about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope? Did he get the activation gel?
No. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is never activated.
He has no activation. Kyle Kuzma, like you just run down the line. You know Luke Walton's being fired. Like Luke Walton is essentially coaching these last 20-some-odd games knowing they can make the playoffs, they can miss the playoffs. His fate has already been sealed. He is being fired.
Unless they win the finals, and even then it's a little iffy.
Right.
His job is done.
He's gone.
I think it would be funny if Kyle Kuzma went on the internet and posted a video of himself Googling like how to activate playoff mode. Like, does LeBron give them lessons on activating playoff mode?
That would be great.
Like, here's how to do it? Or is he just leaving his guys high and dry?
Here's how you activate playoff mode. And it's like a cartoon. You know who could do it? Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report makes, I think it's Bleacher Report, right? Who makes the brilliant cartoons?
Yeah.
The Game of Zones video, all of that. Yeah, do a LeBron playoff activation video in form of a cartoon. I'll take that. All 100%. And just for fun, put Vivek somewhere in asking about playoff activation. Like, did you draft him because you thought he was a fox? That's still one of my favorite lines from that show. The text line is kindly letting me know I said Sam Amick would be on at 2:05. I don't know if Sam Amick is going to be on at 2:05 or not, but I know he's going to be on at 8:05. That's for sure. Sammy will be with us at 8:05. We'll talk about playoff activated LeBron. We'll talk about the Kings and the Warriors in action. And how about the Golden State Warriors? Steve Kerr said they're going to lift the minutes restriction on DeMarcus Cousins moving forward. Steve Kerr also said we'll see how the games go. I don't think we'll change the plan too much in terms of how we're going to play him in the rotations and all that. But I think once we get back into the rhythm, we can absolutely play him for longer stretches and play him down the stretch like we like. Again, that is Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr. For those who are curious, DeMarcus Cousins has been averaging 23.4 minutes per game in his return, but is expected to start playing closer to that 30-minute mark.
I just wonder if he can be effective on both ends of the floor for 30 minutes. That's my biggest concern because he has been...
Have we ever seen DeMarcus Cousins effective on both ends of the floor for 30 minutes?
Have we seen DeMarcus Cousins have playoff mode activated?
We have not. That is a fact that Sacramento Kings fans are very familiar with. We have not seen activated DeMarcus Cousins playoff mode.
Part of the reason he's been able to stay on the floor for Golden State, especially late in games, is because he has been so active on the defensive end. Now, I know it's only 7-8 extra minutes, but that's 7-8 extra long minutes, especially late in a game.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to move his feet in a pick and roll or stay in front of somebody if he gets stuck on the perimeter? Those are going to be big questions that he's going to have to answer before he gets crunch time minutes in the playoffs.
And I think that's something Steve Kerr would just play around with in these last 20-some-odd games because you really don't have to have DeMarcus Cousins playing in crunch time minutes right now.
Correct.
But in Game 6, if you get that far, you'd want that. In Game 7, certainly you would want him to be out there on the floor. And a lot of, what's good is DeMarcus was supposed to be the best player on both ends of the floor here, which I think was an exhausting thing for Sacramento Kings fans to watch because he couldn't be. And it's hard for when you hear an analyst point out how great a two-way player is, there's a reason they're doing it, particularly an analyst who used to play, because it's so difficult to play at the level in which Paul George is a great example. Kawhi Leonard, another great example. Kevin Durant oftentimes is a great example. But it's very difficult to play at a level 10 defensively and then go down on the other side of the floor and play at a level 10 offensively. Right. And for DeMarcus, the one thing that really may help him be a marquee defender is the fact that right now, sight unseen, he's the third best defender on the floor because Kevin Durant's already there and Draymond Green
and
is
Clay.
already there. And I was going to lump Clay in there. I was going to say you could argue that he's the fourth best defender on the team, which is going to take a lot of pressure off him on that side of the ball.
Same thing.
Or that side of the court, excuse me.
The same thing goes for offensively too, though. He doesn't have to work nearly as hard on the offensive end because he might be the fifth best player on the floor on that side.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a great point. So he can conserve energy on each side of the floor, which is why we might see a DeMarcus Cousins that we haven't seen before. But he's likely going to get some extended minutes when the Warriors and the Kings play tonight. This is their fourth and final matchup of the season. As Kyle noted earlier, they've had a fantastic 3 first games. Would you say was decided by 8 points?
8 total points.
8 total points decided those 3 games. So we're going to talk a lot more about the Kings and the Warriors in this final hour. We'll talk more about Zion. Le'Veon Bell is a free agent for the first time in his career. And Sam Amick of The Athletic, what does he think about DeMarcus Cousins' increased workload? And what does he think about playoff-activated LeBron? We'll talk with Sammy next.
Fox because you thought he was a fox?
The Sacramento Kings begin their push for the playoffs tonight with their final matchup of the regular season against the defending champion Golden State Warriors.
The college dive, hammers it on the quick turn.
Game time is 7:30 on your home of the Kings, Sports 1140 KHTK.
And that will seal the deal.
Carmichael Dave here to talk to you about my good friends at Capital Casino, our original sponsor here on the morning show. They've been with us for years, and we're so proud to be partnered up with them as always because they are Sacramento's #1 poker room. I want you to go check out the newly remodeled Dragon Room featuring Texas Hold'em, Omaha, Big O, Pure 21.5 Blackjack, Baccarat, and my favorite game, 3-card poker. Now, Capital Casino also has a full restaurant and bar, and they have the best food, the best service, and the best games. By the way, Capital Casino poker tournaments each and every day, the most variety of games in the entire region, and you can have all that fun in a smoke-free environment. Now, if you want more information, all you have to do is go to www.capital-casino.com. And remember, always, please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Change lives by giving blood this Saturday, February 23rd from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Sunday, February 24th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Marketplace at Birdcage in Citrus Heights with Vitalent, formerly Blood Source, and Sports 1140 KHTK. As a thank you, all blood drive participants will receive a $10 Fandango movie voucher redeemable online. See you this Saturday and Sunday at Marketplace at Birdcage with Vitalent and Sports 1140 KHTK.
California, welcome to Save Yourself with Geico.
You send a congratulatory text to your newly promoted boss, but autocorrect changes it to something unintended.
Oh, no.
You couldn't save yourself from autocorrect gone horribly wrong, but you could save yourself hundreds by switching your car insurance to Geico.
Yes.
You could save on motorcycle, boat, and RV insurance too.
Nice.
Plus, the Geico Insurance Agency could help you save on homeowners and renters insurance.
Oh.
While your smartphone's word choice is becoming your biggest problem, you should know Geico is the second largest auto insurer in the country.
Okay.
Geico even has a 97% customer satisfaction rating
Ooh.
and has been helping people save money for over 75 years.
Huh.
And now, all you can do is watch the ... response bubble and wait. But you don't have to wait on savings. Your local Geico agent could help you save even more with federal and military discounts.
You couldn't save yourself from autocorrect, but you could save yourself hundreds with Geico online, over the phone, or at your local office.
For oil changes using genuine Motorcraft synthetic blend oil or other routine car maintenance, get into Elk Grove Ford's Quick Lane Auto Center.
Elk Grove Ford's Quick Lane has certified technicians who service all makes and models of vehicles.
Elk Grove Ford uses quality Motorcraft parts and Motorcraft synthetic blend oil.
Drive in Elk Grove Ford in the Elk Grove Auto Mall today and pull into the Quick Lane.
Family owned and operated, Elk Grove Ford, your Car Pro approved Ford dealer for all of Sacramento.
Elk Grove sells Fords.
At McDonald's, we're about making mornings from NorCal to Central Valley brighter. If the 99 has your commute at a standstill, an Egg McMuffin and a Sausage McMuffin with egg will put a smile on your face. And if your day on the farm can't start without some goodness, an Egg McMuffin and a hot McCafe coffee will be a delicious helping hand. Get either an Egg McMuffin or Sausage McMuffin with egg and an any size hot McCafe coffee for $4. Or mix and match 2 of these sandwiches for $4. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
It's easy to hit refresh with an ice-cold, any-size Coke or sweet tea for just $1 at McDonald's. See what I mean? Hit refresh anytime with any size Coke or sweet tea for just $1 on the $1, $2, $3 menu at McDonald's. It'll go perfectly with the food you crave.
Like a cheesy double cheeseburger or crispy 6-piece chicken McNuggets for only $2 each. Price and participation may vary. For a limited time, cannot be combined with any other offer or any combo meal.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Factory certified pre-owned vehicles are late model cars, trucks, and SUVs with low mileage and no record of significant damage. These vehicles undergo a detailed minimum 160 multi-point inspection before you buy the vehicle. There's a manufacturer-backed warranty, plus a long list of extras, including low financing rates, free maintenance, free roadside assistance, and a complimentary loaner vehicle. That's peace of mind car buying. The Roseville Auto Mall's Factory Certified Center, driven to be the best.
Sacramento weather brought to you by Rayleigh's in Bel Air. Clear skies today with a high of 57 this afternoon and some gusty wind. At Rayleigh's in Bel Air, save big with amazing weekly sales like this week's Foster Farms whole dryer chicken on sale for only 79 cents a pound. Or get 4 large Hass avocados for just $5 at Rayleigh's in Bel Air.